Hello there, I'm Jared Nyberg, and welcome to our first episode of the year. This is episode 86. It's going to be short and sweet. We are essentially going to cup some Tencha. We're going to talk about our matcha mill, and then we're going to go. There's a little bit of an issue getting on. Apparently, when you have a headset that's not working, you have to plug it in, take it out, plug it in, take it out about 6 times and not 5 for it to work. Anyway, we have audio and we have video. What more could we ask for? If you want to check out old episodes, because this is episode 86, you can always go and check them out on our YouTube channel. If you're watching from our YouTube channel, then you can probably see them all below you there. And you can click to subscribe, and when we go live on Thursdays at 1ish, you will get a notification. You can join us and watch these things live. You can also ask questions in the chat room. We often have amazing guests on the show. We often have people from the tea industry. We have folks who are just doing really interesting projects that we feel are stuff we'd love to talk about. We generally drink a tea together, and we learn a lot and have a really good time. Some of the sessions run a little long, some of them are a little short. We try to be pretty casual with that. And you can always check in later and check them out. You can go onto our webpage, JagaSilk.com, and sign up for the newsletter, and you'll generally get a heads up on what's coming up. Anyhow, I'm going to start off today by drinking some matcha or some tencha. So for tencha, not everybody knows this, but matcha comes from essentially a green tea that's called tencha. And when you're growing your tea and you want to turn it into matcha, instead of taking it to, say, a sencha factory, you're going to take it to a tencha factory. And the tencha factory is essentially going to take the leaves, and instead of steaming them and then rolling them into needles and bruising them in this kind of massaging machine to sort of create that flavor expression, what you're going to do is you're going to take it to a tencha factory that's going to dry these leaves flat. It's going to go through a deveining and a destemming process, and it's going to be baked off, generally finish fired, although we're getting ours not finish fired, and Kyoto doesn't finish fire. This is tencha. So this is the product that gets milled into matcha. Matcha needs to be essentially needs to be under 10 microns. That's a screen size of 1/100th of a millimeter, or a little less, to qualify as the product that we are that we're going to go for, and actually technically be allowed to call it be able to call it matcha. So that's actually a process that we do here. And so for today's show, I actually want to take you on a tour of the mill that we use, so you get a sense of essentially what was sort of the process that we went through to get that mill, and why it's important to have the correct mill. There's been a number of products come out on the market that I've been really excited about, but every time I come back and they are not milling the matcha fine enough, and that's a really important part of the process. Once we get tencha, though, it's kind of interesting to know that we where's my timer? There it is. We want to do a cupping, and the standard seems to be you want to take about 5 grams of tencha leaves, and you want to do about 120 of water in terms of grams. It's roughly 4 ounces, and you're going to let it go for about a minute before you use this really fancy kind of filter sieve thing. This is what they use at auctions. Takaki-san is the one who introduced this to us. Apparently, you're supposed to have 2 of these going side by side. One you cup for aromatics, and one you cup for flavor. You get a sense of the flavor. You'd normally never put boiling water on your senchas or on your matchas, and the reason for that is because you're going to draw out way too much acidity. It's going to be really unpleasant to drink. There's just a lot of problems with pouring boiling water on your tea. So I'm at the 1 minute mark, so I lift it out, and there's this beautiful spinach-like nose with raspberries. Kind of like a cheesecake thing happening. Yeah, it smells amazing. I know spinach and raspberry cheesecake are probably not the best foods to have together, but there's this is actually a good thing. It's happening right here. Okay, so for the most part, I've removed a bunch of the material. Obviously, there's still a bunch of sediment in the cup here. Smelling that wet fragrance. And again, still quite hot. Normally, again, I'd be drawing out all this acidity. This is delicious. Nice amount of umami. Yeah, that's working. Okay. So, essentially, what I do with this then is when me and the team have identified a Tencha as something that we're really excited about, we're gonna bring it in. We're going to taste it, get it turned from what actually I was cupping just now, which is the Ara Tencha, and get it turned into a Shiage Tencha for us in Japan. That Shiage Tencha is basically the Tencha that's ready to mill. So I'm going to bring you over to the mill. Just give me a second here. I'm going to convert to a different, let me see. There we go. Okay. So, the mill. So this is the, am I going to reach today? Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, so I'm actually just out of reach. And let me see if I can't. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that is the mill. This is what I was milling today. And I'll just kind of awkwardly see what I can do. I tried to get my, oh, you gonna in there? Thank you. I got a camera woman helping me out here. It's okay. We can only see what's on there. I'm gonna put some of that Tencha into the top. So this is the Tencha. It's going into the top. This machine has actually been built in Japan. It's a company that we buy from called Terada. The unit had to get certified by the Canadian Standards Association, CSA. That was quite a process to do. To be able to, quickly closing the door. Is that okay? Yeah, okay, awesome, thank you. And we had to make sure that it could mill fine enough, but also that it could mill cool enough. So one of the things that we do is we actually, over on the right here, you can see there's a connecting wires. This is actually running water into the plates, and it goes over to this chiller that's over here on the left, and you can see the temperatures in Fahrenheit right now, and that's just controlling the temperature of the plates. And we've actually found that different plate temperatures are appropriate for different matcha selections. So yeah. I'm going to turn on the unit. Also remove this. Ooh. Okay, good. And so you can see it coming out here. Turn it on. Kind of amazing. It essentially taking that Tencha and milling it down to less than 10 microns. So I'm going to pull some from there. You can see the texture here is that ideal texture. We're looking at a fine, almost talcum-like powder consistency. And if I want to take that and I want to make sure that it's the ideal texture, I'm going to use this tool here. It's called a grain gauge, and I'm going to measure the grain size, and so to do that, I want to make a solution, and I'm going to weigh out 15 or about actually 2.5 grams. 5 grams, what was it again? It was 2.5. 5. Okay. 5, and then we're going to put in just a little bit of matcha through the sieve.
Love it.
Hey, Sherri, welcome.
Look at that.
Yeah. Putting that in. Put in 6.8. Okay. And I'm just trying to get a gram in there. It's taking longer than I thought. Actually, it's half a gram I need. Okay. Tiny bit more. There we go. Okay. So then I'm going to take this solution and I'm going to whisk it and make it nice and thick.
Wow.
And so Sherri from Sister Speak is joining us.
Bonjour. Hello.
And gonna just make it so that everybody can see what's going on. So I'm just gonna how do I do this? I need to
Love this close-up camera. This is incredible.
you know, the camera here can't what the audience is seeing can't see it. So I'm gonna try and make it happen here. Change layout. Let's go to tiled. Okay, that's great. And then let's go to sidebar. There we go. That's awesome. And I'm gonna pin this one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now the audience can see the close-up again, and we have Sherri from Sister Speak joining us. So welcome, Happy New Year, Sherri.
Happy New Year!
Gone. What a year it's already been, hey?
Yeah, happy to be live.
So I don't know, for those who are watching Sherri show as well, and her show is on at generally at 12. Sherri and her partner survived an apartment fire, so that was pretty intense. I'm glad that you're with us, and there we go.
Thank you for rescuing us. With you for everything. We're in a much better headspace now, thanks to you and to everybody that's been so supportive, and really been rocking the tea. I've been drinking matcha with chocolate milk in it.
Oh geez, just having those comfort foods, yeah, makes sense.
Wow, what are you doing over there? It looks so cool.
So what I just did is I was just confirming that it was under 10 microns. So you can see the 10 micron line is right here, and where you get this sort of nice permeation or saturation is actually just around in this area. So you could say it's actually sitting about 7.5 microns if my understanding of how to use the grain gauge is actually accurate. Might be inaccurate, it might be a lot actually coarser than that, but I don't think so.
Are the list of viewers able to see this now, this section?
Yeah, so essentially I'm explaining to people that this is what we do to confirm that our matcha is hitting the threshold that's required for it to officially be matcha. And what I didn't explain is that normally the grind is oh, I should probably turn that off. What I didn't explain was that it's normally where's my brain? That it's normally milled on a granite grinder, and so this is actually like a special, almost, that we call it like our space age grinder.
Okay.
And it has water running into these plates that have been hard coated with this Edison hard plating, and that allows for this really, actually I found a really nice grind. So This is going to be different again, though, from, say, a traditional granite grinder. And we were all about this traditional granite grinder because we couldn't find anything that was better than it. But I'm actually at a place right now with at least what I'm tasting where it's tasting nicer, I think, out of my, like the same selection milled on stone versus milled on this guy. I'm feeling pretty good about on this guy. We're able to get a really controlled texture. We're able to get a firm control over the friction through being able to control the temperature of the plates. This unit didn't come with the chiller that I was showing everybody, and those just joining us now, it's just right there. It's with it runs a cooling line to the plates that are in the mill, and it goes through this unit. And there's a big powerful fan that cools the water down to the temperature that we have set, 55 Fahrenheit. I can't figure out how to get it to Celsius, which is, I believe, in the 13 degrees centigrade world. So, and we found that different selections do better to have different temperatures. So, for example, we run our Okamidori Okuda by Fujioka. We find tastes better at 60 degrees centigrade. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I have a question about the Yabukita by Fujioka.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I said that correctly,
Yeah.
this one and also is it Suhikari, the most recent one? There's a chocolatey kind of taste that is just incredible.
You're liking it, hey?
The most recent roast, I don't, or milling of it. How are you getting that
Oh, the
chocolatey?
Tsuyu Hikari. Yeah. I mean, I've been spending a lot of episodes, especially at the end of last year, talking about our tea roaster. The tea roaster is really fascinating too. Generally, if you're not in Kyoto, you're putting your Tencha into one of these tea roasters, and you give it like a whisper of heat, and that's gonna just curb the tannins a little bit, bring out a little bit of that Maillard reaction. And when you think chocolate, and when you think, say, like cooked sugar, etc., there's this really nice reaction in food when we cook it, called the Maillard reaction. That actually, it's talking about that cooked sugar transformation of flavor, yeah, it's pretty good stuff. So that's just opening up the mill, giving you guys a look at it. So that's what the plates look like. They're actually cut to mimic the way that the grains are cut on a traditional mill. And what this does by milling it in a circular fashion like this is it makes the speck size circular in shape under a microscope. Whereas if you milled it in, say, something like this, which is a really nice coffee grinder, the burrs in this are going to cut even at a really fine texture. It would never get as fine as this, but even like if you were able to do so, the way that the burrs are built is it would cut them so that they're square under a microscope. So that round shape becomes important because even though you can't, there's kind of like an essence of flavor that you get through texture, and so the texture helps to improve the flavor, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, so kind of awesome times. So yeah, that's the Maccha mill. We actually have another mill. It's a EK43 we were talking about in our Jaga spam. It's a really nice mill that we're using for spices that I'll do a walk through one of these days. I'll take the audience through how we mill and blend our masala chai. So that should be fun. Yeah. Anyway, kind of cool, hey?
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. My video just sorry. That's wow. Yeah, that's.
I was just cupping this.
Oh wow. So right now you're milling what type of matcha are you milling at this moment? Are you doing the?
I was doing the Yabukita Kuro Mamezaka by
Oh,
Yamaguchi.
I love that one. I think I had. Is that one of the ones that I had? I remember seeing that when I was out east.
Yeah. That was one of the ones that we had out there. So it was like from a classic region, one of the older regions actually for growing tea in Japan. And we're actually, tomorrow we're going to be open for drink service for the first time in 2022. and we're actually going to be serving this. Look at that. That's daifuku with a sprinkle of gold flakes on it.
Oh, wow.
And you celebrate the new year sometimes in Japan with the use of gold flakes in culinary. What was really funny though is that the package that we bought from Japan had an expiry date on it, so this gold is expired.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's okay to eat though?
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that? I mean, you wouldn't want to eat gold all the time, but here and there, every once in a while, it's kind of this. Yeah. It's actually not as in. You'd think it would be like the worst thing ever, but it's quite common at this time of year in East Asia.
Yeah.
I would say common. It's like still very special, but it's not unknown, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Wow. I actually had a moment, like I was mentioning earlier this morning, that I was able to grab that one matcha that you're making right now, and in the 3 minutes that we were able to gather our things after the fire, and it is incredible. I don't have a whisk, so I had to make a sipping matcha today. I don't have a scale or anything. I just mixed it in, but I will say, and then also I drink it sometimes with milk because to have a little bit of the oils.
Right. Yeah.
And have you ever made a like chocolate matcha drink?
Yeah. We do it all the time, actually.
Really? What do you do? I'm so curious because this tastes unbelievable. I mean, everything regular matcha in itself.
We have generally we use a really good organic white chocolate because we find that dark chocolate overpowers the taste of the matcha and you can't really taste it. But white chocolate on its own, I've never been a huge fan of because it tastes kind of empty. But when you have it with matcha, it's almost as if the matcha is replacing the cacao that's been removed from the white chocolate, and so you get this really beautiful chocolatey matcha beautifulness. So we use about 20 grams of really good organic white chocolate. We melt it into a standard matcha shot for a latte, and then we steam up some milk and pour it on top. We call it a white chocolate matcha mocha, and it's delicious.
Wow. I might get one of those tomorrow. I just used the Earth Owns oat chocolate milk.
Okay. Yeah.
And just made a matcha like a regular way, and then added it, and it didn't take away from the taste of the matcha. Like I can actually taste them both.
Well,
Really
why don't we do a white chocolate matcha mocha? One of the episodes in January.
Okay, let's do it. That'd be fun.
Awesome. Cool. All right. I did tell the audience that today was going to be a short show. I was going to take them on a little tour of the matcha mill and show them what's up. But I'm curious if you had any questions about it before we exit here.
I think you answered the main one of like, I don't think it. Yeah.
We're good.
What time is it open tomorrow? 12 to 4 tomorrow open?
12 to 4. Yeah. You should pop by and get a drink. It'd be really nice to see you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Those who are watching, you can find Sister Speak on her live show on Thursdays as well. She started a couple weeks before JagaVision, back at the beginning of the pandemic. And ever since, though, we've regularly been on each other's shows, but she comes on our show almost every single week. I haven't been on your show as much as recently, but I would love to go on and talk about your tea, because you're always drinking a tea too, a JagaSilk tea, which is really sweet.
Yeah, I have the Singer's Delight steeping for an hour right now to get the smoke out of our throats. Right. It's really working. Yes. And I drank also the matcha chocolate on the show.
Well, really glad that you're safe. It was a big scare there, that apartment fire. I can't believe it. It's on the news, and oh man, what a height to that flame. I didn't see the flames when I popped by to pick you guys up, but
right, yeah, that was crazy. It was like the tension anyway. So for the firefighters coming and watching is rising. Like, please put it out.
Yeah, intense times.
They were miracle workers, though. A lot of miracles happened.
Well, I'm glad that you're safe and sound, and I hope you drink lots of that Singer's Delight to help with your.
No, we're gonna get back on it. Singer's Delight and the Nathan Naturals, the sports liniment.
Nice. Yes. That's good stuff.
In the bath, for decongestion is perfect.
Totally works. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you for coming on the show. Go to sisterspeakmusic.com to find out details about where Sherri Ann's at. You can go to follow her music project. You have a new album coming out, I believe, this year. April 2022. It's an amazing album. Super stoked about it for you. And if you're in Victoria, I believe that the last Friday in March, we will have Sister Speak performing. Is that?
Yes,
Okay.
I can't wait.
Okay, well, I'm stoked for it. We'll have to promote the heck out of it, but here you're hearing it first on JagaVision. Come and hang out, and we'll have to put some tickets up sooner rather than later, so people can buy ahead. It would be really, really great.
We'll get that going this next week.
Sweet. Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'm sure I will see you very, very soon.
Yeah. Peace and love, neighbor.
Peace and love. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was Sister Speak joining us. That was a little tour of our matcha mill. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them into the comments. Even if you're watching this after the fact and you weren't a part of the chat as we were going live, I will check back again and try and do my best to answer questions that you might have. This mill has been doing magic for us since 2018. We're really stoked about it. We're actually going to be getting a new version of it and have a second mill running. We also have a mill from a different company that's more for single service that we're really excited to start utilizing, hopefully as early as this Friday, where we can do some of our matcha milled by the shot. We'll see what happens. So anyways, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next Thursday, 1 o'clock-ish on JagaVision, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and yeah, looking forward to your questions and seeing what we can all learn together. Thank you so much. I'm Jared, JagaSilk, JagaSilk.com.